I think I know what this is. You see, Stan, as you get older, things that you used to like start looking and sounding like shit. And things that seemed shitty as a child don't seem as shitty. With you, somehow the wires have gotten crossed and everything looks and sounds like shit to you. It's a condition called being a cynical asshole.
Oh no.
Yes. And there's no known cure, I'm afraid. Everything just seems shitty and everyone starts to seem shitty and everything they say just starts to...
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
Bullshit, Mr. Handman.
I hope I can help. Necromancy may be legal in Cyrodiil, but few will openly admit to practicing it now that the Mages Guild has banned it. Farewell.
May you rest in peace.
You hate to do it, but at the same time, it's hilarious.
What is thy bidding, my master?
Yeah, I should have known from the very beginning. From what you said. Yeah, when the mega powers were formed. Yeah, what you were out for from the very beginning. Yeah, you were after what was mine. I remember what you said.
You can destroy the Emperor. Join me. Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
Yeah, that one was rough. Those words right there. Yeah, I got stuck, yeah, but I swallowed it anyway. Didn't like the taste, but I swallowed it anyway, yeah. But I remember the time when there was a conquistador out of the ring. The one that's so jealous that he can't stand it, yeah. Yeah, you came in there with your poses, yeah, but you made a big idiot out of yourself, yeah. And speaking of idiot things, what about that stupid idea? Did you forget that one? Think back. That right there sealed your fate. Yeah, that put the madness over the edge. But I'll tell you what felt even better, yeah, was in the dressing room, in the first aid room. Me being unselfish, yeah, said go ahead, do the thing, yeah. You won't steal my thunder, no. When you take a look at the madness's eyes, all you're gonna see is complete and utter rage!
Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sith, number 29. I am your host, Fractured Filter, along with, as always, my co-host, Jay Hitman. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Oh, doing good, doing good. That was probably one of the greatest things I've seen all week. So thank you so much for doing that.
I've been liking adding to this just to kind of freshen things up with the bringing us into it, and this one just sprung back into my mind. I was like, oh yeah, that clip was awesome. Inserting Macho Man as Palpatine, you can't go wrong with that. So
I mean, who doesn't love Macho Man? If you don't love Macho Man, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Exactly, I'm 100% with you on that one. So yeah, I figured what a great way to bring us into today. Like it is, where do we go? You know, we're still a month off, or not? Well, yeah, we're about still a month off from Andor. Beginning of August, I think we got the Star Wars Lego summer vacation thing.
And for those that are either tuning in or have tuned in or will tune in eventually, Fractured is so excited for this. He's so excited for joy. Lego, and so am I. I can't wait to watch this. This is just so ridiculous. So ridiculous. I actually heard somebody.
Excitement is real.
I actually heard there are people that are very the fanboys are coming out of the woodworks are like so excited. You know, Lego sales are up 36% this month because of Star Wars. Since the announcement of Lego Star Wars.
That doesn't surprise me none if that is true.
I have this theory, and I could be wrong. And like I said, if you want to go to a theater and wear a yellow onesie and watch Minions, by all means, go ahead and do that. But I actually heard rumors that there are going to be people dressing up as like Lego Star Wars characters at the when this show. I actually heard this thing was going to be in theaters. I don't know if that's true or not.
I haven't looked into it, so I honestly could not tell you one way or another what is going on with that.
What happens if it is? I'm just gonna lose I lose hope in all humanity if this thing.
Then it's called I'm not watching it.
It's called we're gonna find something else to do for a month.
I mean, that's just basically all it comes down to, right? I mean, like it is. It's not like we don't have plenty of topics and stuff that we can certainly jump into, not just
this.
Just this. Well, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say I'm really excited for the show. This is like show number 2, where it's just I think we use a fun palate cleanse. I'm still trying to mentally recover from Kenobi, and now my YouTube. I don't know if it's YouTube or AI, or somebody has hacked my phone, but I just keep seeing Star Wars theory videos of the watch parties and everything, and I'm like, can we not, please?
Hey there, Sentinel. Welcome to the show.
Sentinel, what's up? But I had a couple of things. I know you probably had some stuff you want to go over. I had some kind of fun topics we could go over just to.
I mean, I figured for one thing we'd get one announcement out of the way.
Yeah.
So starting Sunday, tomorrow, 5 p.m., we're going to be doing streams on my channel on Twitch, the Fractured Filter, and on Hitman's channel, JHitman187 that you see here. Over on Twitch, we're going to be starting to stream Star Wars: The Old Republic.
So excited.
Going to be jumping into that game finally, because we've been talking about this for a little while now, wanting to get together and play that game, so you can finally play it for the first time and check it out. So, yeah, for anybody that's going to be interested in that sort of thing, for sure. You might be a little more interested on Hitman's side, because he's going to be going Sith Sorcerer?
Oh, yeah.
If I remember right?
I got to do my boy Palpatine proud. Yeah, no, like whatever we talked a little bit about the classes, I think, before the last show, but yeah, whatever. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go the Sith Sorcerer just because I like to listen. I get my inspiration from Bane and Malgus. Most importantly,
Bane and Malgus would definitely be more on the Juggernaut territory for Sith Warrior.
I was more.
But if you're wanting to sheave it up, then Sith Sorcerer would be the route you want to go.
The Force Lightning, Bane just utterly cooking the room, and and he's just like, oh my god, I want this guy.
The Sith Warriors unfortunately do not get Force Lightning, which is a very big disappointment. But Sith Sorcerer, and Assassin, they have lightning attacks. But more, if you want the full sheave experience, the Sorcerers are way to go.
That's where I'm going with it, and I think Daviasa might be joining us. I don't know.
Daviasa said he can absolutely join us. He's going to be doing he's going to be a damage dealing bounty hunter. So he's going to be doing that. And then since you're going to be doing damage as well, I'm basically with the sheave powers, you're going to be doing damage.
Mm-hmm.
That you're going to probably I'm going to be. My brother and I were talking about this. I'll probably go the Imperial Agent. I'll play as an operative, and I'll be the healer. And then my brother's going to team up with you. He'll be a Sith Warrior, and he said he's going to be a Juggernaut and do the tanking. So we'll have you two as damage, myself as I'll be doing my best as a healer, and then my brother as a tank. So we'll have our roles certainly set up for when we want to do like some of the other stuff like flashpoints and stuff like that.
No, is the benefit of having multiple like people play and like different classes to get the full story without paying? Because I was reading like you can pay for this, right? Like the seasons or whatever.
Yes,
you
can.
Seasons?
So you can pay the monthly subscription fee, and that does unlock more like customization options like right off the bat for when you're trying to like get. If you want to keep like certain looks and stuff like that, but they also have it available for the free to play. And last I knew is like the level 1 through 50 is the free to play that you can get through, and then after that, I think you have to like buy the expansion passes that come with that,
how much is
or
that?
just get the subscription for $15 a month, and then then you just play through it, and then it's kind of like unlocked basically.
Listen, I'm frugal as all get out, so I will not probably be spending the $15 a month. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, though. 15. I mean, I guess it's not because most people spend that on like Netflix and HBO, but still, I don't know. I might. I probably won't. I'm not even gonna say I might. I'm not. It's a cool concept, but probably won't play it enough to. I don't know. I'm undecided. It's like, do I want ice cream or don't want ice cream?
Start at the bare minimum. If you think you might play it more, awesome. If not, I totally get it.
It just depends on how much Davioso irritates me when we play tomorrow. Is he playing tomorrow? Is he going to be on tomorrow?
Yeah, he said he's going to be joining us, yes.
Depends on how much he irritates me. I'm just kidding. I like Davioso sometimes when he's not getting a chub over Star Wars, was it Disney Star Wars? What was he? He was talking about something last week. I don't remember. I tuned him out.
Well, he wasn't on. He hasn't been on the show for a couple.
No, I was talking to him in person.
Yeah.
For those listening, he's actually still alive. If you're wondering if Davioso is still alive, he is alive. It is confirmed.
No, Hitman did not kill him and bury him out in the desert somewhere.
You tell me that.
Pro mouse.
Yeah, you go and. Yeah, that's. Anyways, I do want to bring up something real quick, and it's not it's not Star Wars related, but I went to the comic book store today, and I found a the Dark Empire DC comics and then Dark Empire 2 comics, and I almost walked out with all of the Dark Empire 2 comics. Unfortunately, they do not have issue 1 that I could find. So I held off, but just kind of going through those comics, it is very, very cool to just kind of go through those and actually see the first printings, and it's nostalgia, and just really, really cool to see. It's really cool that you're still able to get these
one
comics.
way or another, yeah.
And yeah, so it was just it was a store that I actually really wanted. I don't know, I might go back and buy them, but that's one of them, because I've heard good things about Dark Empire. I don't know, I'm not too familiar with Dark Empire 2, but I have heard good things about Dark Empire from Dark Horse, so that might be something we should read and then talk about. Because we were reading.
We were. Dark Empire was when we started to. We were kind of doing after. We talk about after reviewing.
So I guess that was Dark Empire, but this was
kind of dropped it for just focusing on Book of Boba Fett at the time.
I think we probably should bring that back, because that was kind of our saving grace at the end of the show.
It kind of was, yeah. It's like our palette.
Like, we just talk about all this crap, and then we talk about good. I actually enjoyed Dark Empire. Did you have issues with it? Was that the one you had issues with?
Yes, Dark Empire was the saga that I had issues with because of the fact that they bring back Palpatine. That, yes, they do it through, at least they had already kind of, addressed it with the clone technology and the essence transference, and things get further answered, thanks to, like, from the Bane books and Plagueis and all that. But no, that still to me is just like, just leave. I know George signed off on it and all, but it's like, still, no, keep Palpatine just should have stayed dead regardless. And they went with the whole, like, Luke was but wasn't kind of falling to the dark side, because he kind of was getting a little arrogant about, I don't know, maybe overconfident, I should say, about what he was able to still achieve, like still help out the Rebel Alliance, or kind of the new Republic beginnings of all that. Still help them out tactically while trying to hide that he was with Sidious, but he was kind of more falling to the dark side and stuff like that. So to me, it just always never sat that well with me, and especially for that fact, especially that he was, he rejected Palpatine at that point on the Death Star and all that. He faced him down. He threw away his lightsaber in a meaningful way, not in a cheap gag way like we saw in Last Jedi. But
but
that's where that whole saga was supposed to be done with. For especially Palpatine.
Need to ask. Maybe reach out to OG. So I thought Palpatine came in on the expanded universe. I thought he came back. I didn't necessarily know if it was clones or if it was the essence transference, but I thought he lived on. So like Disney obviously got it. Like it was terrible. It was wrong. Like he didn't fall down the shaft and survive. Like, but I thought he survived either through the essence of transfer or cloning.
Yeah, it was kind of the cloning, essence transference, and Dark Horse, but Disney.
But I just fell down in this. My medical spine kept me alive.
They're basically alluding to that via the Mandalorian, which is funny that people were like, "Oh no, they're gonna retcon their sequel trilogy." Bullshit. They're full speed going into that by using the Mandalorian show. So, it's still happening, folks.
These Disney executives could literally fart in a theater, and you could ask them, "Did you just fart?" And they're like, "No, I didn't fart." Like it's just so stupid. Like they're never going to admit that they're wrong. It's just
absolutely
ridiculous.
Not.
No, I didn't do that. And no, we didn't retcon anything. And no, we didn't contradict ourselves. And yes, we followed continuity, even though we don't know what continuity is. We followed it.
No, we swear we're doing all that. Really?
I also had an awkward moment. I just throw this out here too. So I had an awkward moment at the comic book store. I went to pick up my pulls and everything. And obviously, as a DC guy. Well, as a DC guy, like I went to the register and they have free comic books that they hand out with your purchase and everything, and I didn't have So the lady that was checking me out, she's actually the owner's wife, and she threw 2 Marvel comics into my bag, and I was like, oh God, what do I? Because she's super nice. Like she ordered me. I'm not a huge Superman action comic guy, but I'm trying to do my due diligence and read a little bit more. But she ordered me a Superman Red Sun, which is actually a really, really cool story about Superman and fighting the Russians. And
I thought that was if he fell to Russia instead of America.
Yeah, that. And so she ordered that for me, and then she put these 2 comic books in my bag, and I didn't have the heart to tell her that, like, how dare you? But here's the thing, like, I've told her multiple, like, I made it well known in that shop that, like, I'm DC, and so I don't know if this was like her, like,
it's probably just by default, just putting just kind of automatic, how we get in our own jobs, we kind of automatically do certain things. It's probably just that. It's just,
Well, so what's funny is,
a bit.
So Free Comic Book Day was like 2 months ago.
Something like that.
And she put a Avengers X-Men Eternals Judgment Day Marvel comic that you can't give this stuff away. That's how, from what I've heard, how bad it is. But she gave it to me. So Monday, when I see you, I'll go ahead and give you some of these comics.
Oh yay!
That's just a fun story. Yeah,
I look forward to it.
You should. How dare you? You should always look forward to our time together. But I thought it was kind of funny because, yeah, it was just like I didn't have the heart to tell her. I was like, I don't want these. And there was nobody outside I could have given them to, so and I wasn't gonna. There wasn't a trash can nearby, so I just kept them.
Oh, you know.
That's just a joke. I know there's a lot of. I have a lot of friends that are unfortunately Marvel fans, but hey, that's fine. You can be Marvel fans if you want.
You're wrong too, but they can be. Is that it?
Again, I want to stay on topic, but did you like was it Sony Andrew Garfield's that universe of Spider-Man? Did you like those movies?
Oh God!
As a Spider-Man guy, I know you're a Spider-Man guy, fan.
So, the first movie, I didn't mind. I thought it was good. I didn't have the same problem a lot of people did. I know with the lizard design, the way they did him, mainly maybe because I'm already like a bit of a Godzilla fan and stuff like that. So having a giant, oversized lizard. Kind of messing shit up in New York. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of down with that.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's like, and I didn't mind the design either, though. On top of it, I thought, it kind of harkens to a bit of the original look. They just kind of put him on steroids, basically. Which comic book movie.
Right.
They kind of did. They did do a bit of the retelling of because I don't think the movie was that long after the Sam Raimi trilogy, so we did do the whole
he did the
stuff like that.
Sam Raimi did the Tobey Maguire movies, right?
Yeah, he did those ones. So the first movie was kind of treading a bit of familiar territory, but kind of also modernizing him a little bit, and he was kind of. I mean, this is kind of funny. This Parker was a bit more of a jerk than regular Peter could be, or kind of was. Then, but I mean, otherwise, like the first movie, I didn't mind. I was like, okay, it's not a bad starting place. They kind of were playing more on also. Peter being a little more familiar with his parents, and that also they were kind of trying to set up that his parents may play a bigger part later down the line via like what his father was up to as a scientist himself, and they already were kind of tapping that in that first movie, but it was also like there might have been more going on, sort of thing. So again, they were trying to kind of put a bit of a different spin on some things, but at the same time, keeping it in familiar territories. The suit, I look back on, I'm like, the suit wasn't bad for Spider-Man in that. You can kind of see how, that's a little more high quality, but still kind of has the low budget look. For just like a kid putting together this outfit, and I did like that he had the web shooters. Although I didn't mind the organic web shooters from the Raimi films, I thought that makes sense because it's like giving him more spider powers than just him crawling on walls. Basically, I mean that's the only thing that's recognizable for him having spider powers.
Yeah,
effectively. So. But it was cool that they did the whole him building the web shooter so he could do that. And so like I said, overall I liked the movie. They brought in Gwen Stacy this time around. They didn't have Mary Jane at all, but they brought in Gwen Stacy for this.
So how did you
romance.
So how did you like? So again, I've not. My brother, like I've said, I think a couple times, huge Spider-Man fan. Follows has read probably every single comic ever released by or for Spider-Man. But how did you feel about and again, if I get any of this wrong because I'm not a Marvel guy,
don't worry
let me know. But Gwen Stacy being thrown into the clock tower versus she killed?
You see, this is where I'm gonna. This is let me. Okay. Now, the second movie. Second movie.
I guess we're still on the first, so I apologize, but
no, it's fine because that was basically, I don't think they should have rushed. I felt like it was kind of rushed a little bit with the Captain Stacy, her father, Gwen Stacy father. I forget his actual name at the moment. I just know he's captain of the police and everything. They kind of rushed into him, and again, this is what always cheeses me off: is how quickly people find out Peter's secret identity.
Yeah.
Especially like within the comics, it was the biggest, most held secret out there. Nobody freaking knew. But again, people find out all the time, and so they kind of rushed that death a little bit for killing off Captain Stacy. I think they should have kept him around for if they were going to do a trilogy. He should have, maybe then died at the end, but otherwise, he was then kind of like a surrogate father figure, if I remember right. It's been a little while since I've watched the movie. But now going into the second flick. Oh boy. Jamie Foxx's Electro, Jesus Christ.
Dude, yeah, like thoughts on that.
For one, the unnecessary thing of race swap, stupid.
Was that why they did
I think that was more ginger side too. I think the original Electro was a ginger.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Is that why,
more ginger side? But otherwise, like he was just like, especially once he got the powers, is like, because this was another thing was that then they brought Harry Osborn in, and this is the thing, they haven't even introduced Norman Osborn yet into this trilogy, other than Oscorp being, of course, one of the being the big corporation that's around. So they haven't even brought in Norman. But
he had like he wasn't, they showed no, or they gave no inclination that he was like Green Goblin, which that's why I always thought.
And he was the original. That's just it. And they brought in Harry Osborn, and there's some good little scenes between the two actors of Andrew Garfield, and I forget who played Harry Osborn. But there's some okay scenes as they're kind of reminiscing, catching up, and all this stuff, and as they're figuring out what the hell their parents were up to, sort of stuff with science and all that fun stuff. The problem was that, of course, then they started adding in then the villainy of it, like that he already leveled up immediately to he goes Green Goblin on us.
Yeah.
And it's like, guy, it was kind of the problem that Spider-Man 3 had of too many villains. And they were wanting to build up to their Sinister Six so badly. And this was even before I think the Avengers had come out. So they were already trying to, jump on that wagon of let's do our big villain movies to have for Spider-Man. But then and it was funny too, because like throughout them, because they brought in Rhino. I forgot about that. Rhino's the dude in the suit.
Yeah,
the mechanized Rhino instead of just a big burly Russian dude in a Rhino costume.
Whatever his name.
That's been kind of like from the Ultimate. They were kind of taking on, even though it's called Amazing Spider-Man, it's kind of taking on Ultimate Spider-Man vibes a little bit from the comic books, especially with the mechanized Rhino suit. So they had that, but the funny thing was, like, I noticed, like, he just Andrew Garfield, at least the way he was portraying it for his Peter, he just wanted to go off and be Spider-Man the whole time. He didn't want to be Peter Parker. He didn't want to do that life. Like, he just clearly just wanted to go off and be Spider-Man.
Well, which is an interesting point that you bring up, because I feel like the Tobey Maguire, like the Sam Raimi movies, like, so Tobey Maguire felt like he wanted to be Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield wanted to be Spider-Man. Well, correct me if I'm wrong.
I would say, there was probably a feeling a little more of a, I hate to say burden, but there was for Tobey's Spider-Man, he definitely felt that weight of, with great power comes great responsibility, because he kind of felt it very early on, and that's where, and I had problems with with the way some of that was handled in those movies. especially the bridge scene and stuff. But
yeah,
but he definitely had that. This Spider-Man, for the Amazing Spider-Man, he definitely seemed like he was having a lot of fun. So there wasn't nearly that same feeling, even though he dealt with the whole thing of Gwen Stacy's dad being killed by the lizard and stuff like that. He didn't quite have that burden of responsibility on him as heavily as it definitely kind of was for Toby. So he was having a little more fun, Andrew Garfield. And then, yes.
It's like his uncle dies on a Monday and he's Spider-Man Tuesday.
Right. But then, when we get to the freaking ending, I was pissed. Because, yes, they did the whole bell tower scene when Stacy falls. But the part of my problem with it, too, is that it's very evident and clear what happened. So, like, he was just absolutely too late. And, he catches her last minute, but she still, bam, hits that floor. Done.
Right.
While...
So how did she die in the comics? So was she thrown off a bridge?
Right. So, in the comics, it was... Green Goblin kidnapped her, had her up on that bridge. It was either from a pumpkin bomb or something, but she falls off. Spider-Man goes to catch her. He, of course, does the web again. But this is the thing, is that because he's still kind of a young superhero, he didn't know that if it was from his inexperience, and that when he caught her with the web, if when he maybe pulled the line, if he was the one that maybe snapped her neck or something like that, or if it was he didn't know if she died from the fall itself. So there was a lot of doubt and a lot of that got weighed onto him. It certainly made it a really big and tragic moment for him, because it was a big question mark of, I don't know if he didn't know if it was because of him, because of the Goblin, or just because, well, I mean, it was because of his life as Spider-Man. He got that, but it was definitely like, was it my inability to catch her? Did I need to do something different than just get the webbing on her? What was it? So it was a lot of questions, and then he impaled the Goblin, or the Goblin got impaled by the glider. But that by them doing that, it really even though I knew we were at basically the end of the movie at that point, I was almost like, I'm gonna get out of here. Screw this goddamn movie. But I stayed in my seat and I watched it to the end, because I'm like, I've already stayed this whole time. I'll just finish my sitting and get through it. So I really did kind of. It would have been good to get a third movie for Andrew Garfield. There's certainly air that whole bit out, because they kind of ended it on a bit of a lighter note to kind of go, hey, not all is bad. He's coming back as Spider-Man.
So, and then I don't know if this was, well, I think obviously probably was done on purpose, or maybe it wasn't. They just didn't read the comics. But do you think I do find it interesting that, like, in that clock tower scene, when she hits when he shoots the web and
the wall,
hits the ground, then it kind of panels to the clock scene, and the clock is at 121, which I believe that's the issue that she died in, 121 to 122, Marvel. Turning Point, I think. I don't know. I only know that because my brother, again, not that I read Spider-Man, but I thought that was kind of, I think it was issue 121. I could be wrong.
Turning Point. Yeah, that's where they're kind of playing the mystery game on who the hell's gonna die.
Right. So I found out
the night Gwen Stacy died. Yep.
So you brought up. So I think I don't know. Can't even believe. I think I don't know. What was I'm trying to say, like, the Electro. You mentioned, like, what's his name? Jamie Foxx being Electro. Like, one, I don't know.
Yeah. Like, here's the scene. Oops.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's where
So she didn't even hit anything in the comics. So was it
he got her by the leg, as you can see, but even there's the little. I mean, that could just be because her neck snapping back, but also it's just called,
Did she like just die of whiplash? Did he like?
That's just it. He didn't know if it was from the whiplash or if she had already been dead by the time he caught her. 'Cause, I mean, that's a hell of a. She was already falling a good bit before he started reeling her up.
Oh, see, I wonder if like the momentum, like just
and that's part of the whole self doubt and stuff like that.
So did they ever flesh this out, or did they just leave it kind of as a
I want to say yes, they did. It did kind of get resolved. I haven't
so
gotten
long
through all of those, so I just know certainly the cliff notes for certain moments like this, and I've tried to get through them. It's just I haven't had the opportunity to.
You should do Marvel Unlimited. There's a guy at work that he was telling me about it. Like, obviously, I do the DC Infinite, but you should do Marvel Unlimited because it's actually, I think it's cheaper than DC Infinite. But you could, I'm sure you could probably find all these on there.
No, with everything that's been going on with comic books, especially, I have no interest of diving into, other than like a cursory glance every so often at Spider-Man books, but otherwise, I'm
just saying these are old school, so I'm sure they're not.
Yeah, I mean, if I could somehow get my, I know they have like the omnibuses and stuff like that of collections of these old books, which I'll eventually look into. I just know I'm looking at other avenues of.
Listen, this is not me trying to talk you out of it. By no means. I'm just saying. Yeah, but the lecture thing, I wanted to touch on that because that makes I don't understand the whole Jamie Foxx thing, and I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I'm not saying that he did amazing. He was amazing in The Kingdom. He was amazing in Miami Vice, but Electrode was literally a ginger.
It was just a goofy.
I don't know. Can you pull up a picture of the Electro? Because that I can do it. I guess I can do it too. But his suit in the comics, I'm more apt to like that suit versus him just being this blue Avatar looking.
Well, and that's been certainly the thing that's been talked about, especially when Young Rippa he had his videos on a lot of different comic characters being switched around and stuff like that in these movies, and he's like, comic books are a visual medium. You have the representation of what the character is supposed to look like drawn out for you, usually in a lot of great detail. So all you should be doing is taking what's exactly in those books and trying to get the person to fit that role to just mimic and be that character. There's none of this stupid adaptation malarkey of trying to get around it. But yeah, here's Jamie Foxx Electro, which was just a goofy kind of look. Especially this is an all black suit and stuff like that. It's like, guys, really? Come on. I'm trying to get the original.
Yeah, I think it was green, and he actually had electricity.
They want to.
I get it. I don't know if this falls within what universe this falls in. I guess I don't know where it falls along, the timeline or whatnot. But I don't know. I think you could have come up with a better look than that.
Well, and
they're probably they're probably well, we can't do the comic book the way that he looked in the comic book because that's just not realistic. And that does. I mean, I don't know.
Oh God, I hate this. They've changed the universal. Because now it's just instead of there's Earth 616. That's the comic universe. That's not the MCU. The comic universe. I thought he was a Ginge. I'm not seeing anything. All I'm getting is some of the Auburn, yeah. And then he
Yeah.
The yellow and green and everything.
I mean, listen, I still like that more than.
Yep. There you got the red hair.
Why did they not do so like?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I even joked when I was watching Luke Cage. I'm like, get him in his old '60s outfit. That shit'll be great.
I don't think that's done good. I don't think Luke Cage did very well either. I don't know if it's because it was Netflix or what, but I didn't hear good things about. I didn't hear good things about it.
The show wasn't bad until they killed off the better villain to replace him with a chick.
Of course,
she was just horrible. She was just not a good villain to begin with. She was playing more off of him. I forget. And again, it's been. This is the thing. Like, none of this stuff is meant to be like retained in your memory that well. And a lot of the stuff I have just replaced with other stuff in my brain to remember because I forget about it because I've just been so tapped out.
Yeah. So why didn't they do a Sinister Six movie? Because like you watch that movie, you assume
they've been trying.
They just don't have the funds, or is it the rights?
I don't know. What the
Fox still
situation
owns
is?
Spider-Man, right? They still own the rights.
Sony still owns Spider-Man. Yes,
they'll never give.
They've been leaning him. Oh God, no! He's a cash cow for them.
I know.
They'd be stupid to give him away or to sell him away.
It's like, well, we can't come up with a good movie, but we'll let you do it for us, and they're gonna pull a Mr. Wonderful royalty deal. We'll let you make a movie, but we get 75% of the proceeds.
The main Spider-Man movies has been essentially Sony.
Yeah.
They just lend Spider-Man out for like the big multiversal tie-ins and stuff like that for the MCU. But otherwise, like a lot of the Spider-Man movies have still been technically Sony's. So that's been kind of the funny thing. Is like, well, Sony certainly knows what they're doing to keep because I mean what was it, the most recent one, No Way Home was their biggest one so far, but that was partly because of a lot of key jangling. They brought in Willem Dafoe and
he made that movie.
Robert
That's all.
Molina definitely Dafoe stole the movie without a doubt. And then they had Toby and Andrew Garfield back as Spider-Man.
I think I heard Toby just was not great in that movie. Like,
I thought he was he was what I liked about it was that he was definitely I could see it as almost like a hint of where they could go with his character. It was certainly like he was kind of in there as a mentor, almost kind of fatherly role for them, kind of giving some of them some helpful words and guidance and stuff like that. Especially they really were like playing up Andrew Garfield as like he himself was like, man, I just got the worst villains. I haven't even gotten to go to space. I mean, what the hell? Because of what was going on with Tom Holland's Spider-Man and everything he's been doing. So it was this kind, but there was. I'm sure you see the clip out there where Toby looks at him and goes, "No, you're amazing. I want you to say you are amazing." So it was kind of some good little moments there, and I could see where if they took it in the right direction, where if they brought back Toby in a separate universe movies sort of thing again, they could definitely do the Spider-Man version where it was where he has a daughter and she does become the next kind of Spider-Man, but her own.
Yeah,
it's his daughter Mayday, and it was. I read some of those. Those weren't bad. Those were pretty good.
So who do you think did it best? Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, or Tom Holland?
I will always be a Tobey fanboy.
Really?
I like those movies a lot more. I feel like even though there was divergences that I disliked with some of them, I still would take them over. I'll still rewatch those over Andrew and over Tom Holland. I don't like. They just don't sit with me very well. The Spider-Man 2 is still objectively my favorite and probably the best one. I like the first one just because of how great Willem Dafoe is as.
Is because Doc Ock.
No, he was Green Goblin.
No, I know, but is it because
Robert Molina was
yeah
Doc Ock? I mean, again, I had the problem with everybody keeps finding out his goddamn secret so freaking fast.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's like okay, I can look past that, and I did the third movie for Toby. Good lord. Other than for the whole his like emo Peter Parker whatever, Bully Maguire. That's what they call it. The whole Bully Maguire stuff is still just like you really didn't have to do this. You could have gone in a better direction. And it was such a it wasn't the best way to introduce the symbiotes and stuff. I think that should have been like a full movie of him in the symbiote suit. Then at the end, maybe he gets rid of it, sort of thing. And they should have picked somebody better to play Eddie Brock. It certainly wasn't Topher Grace.
Well, I was trying to say who did it better, him or
who did it? But I would say
Tom Hardy.
Toby Maguire. I'd say he definitely he played the role of Peter Parker better because he definitely had that more. He fit more the kind of awkward, nerdy sort of thing. He had that down pretty well. And then when he was Spider-Man, I thought he at least was one of the few that was at least still cracking jokes and making fun of the villains and stuff and being sarcastic and jokey and stuff. So he had that down pat, and I just thought he was just kind of the well-rounded one of the three so far. And I know what they were doing with Tom Holland was like they were building up to him essentially becoming the Spider-Man we're gonna potentially have known and stuff like that, but too little, too late.
You feel like I was talking to somebody at work the other day. I asked him if he thought that Sam Raimi's Spider-Man got the villains as close as to like the ones in the comics, and the guy I was talking to is like, no, but they're a lot better than the rest of them, or the rest of the movies at least.
I would probably, for the most part, because they changed up Doc Ock, his whole origin story, and Osborn was kind of on key, but there was differences. The original plan I heard about too was that they were going to make him the villain, the overarching villain for the three movies, but they weren't confident or just weren't sure that this was going to be a big enough hit.
Yeah.
So that's why it ended the way they ended it. But I think they still could have done the whole Osborn revival thing that they did even in the comics. But I don't know if Raimi had even read those yet.
Yeah. So why don't you think in Spider-Man, in like the Amazing Spider-Man, the Andrew Garfield one, I forget who directed it, but why don't you?
Andrew
why did
Webb
they?
Or something like that?
Yeah.
Something Webb, because they're like, oh, his last name's Webb, and he's directing Spider-Man.
Go there. Why didn't they focus on Norman Osborn? Like, so, and again, you have to correct me because I don't know the difference. There's Green Goblin and Hobgoblin. Is Hobgoblin Harry?
No, Hobgoblin is an entirely different person.
So it has no relation to Green Goblin, Hobgoblin.
No, it's not like
like father and son.
No.
Okay.
It's a completely separate. God, I'm trying to remember even that character because that's the thing, they've played like mystery box with who is the original Hobgoblin. Well, we know who the original Green Goblin is, and of course that's Norman, and then Harry eventually picks up the Green Goblin suit.
So why don't you think they focused on Norman Osborn in the Amazing Spider-Man?
I don't think they did because.
Or I guess the second one. I'm sorry.
I think they were still kind of in it. They might have felt that they were still in the shadow of Raimi's Spider-Man a little too much because there wasn't I would say a big enough gap from when they came out, so they were probably still trying to stay a little bit away from it, but it might have been like studio pressuring that said, no, we want Green Goblin in this in some form or another. Bring him in. We don't care how. But I'm even going to kind of look it up real quick. So Spider-Man 3 was out in 2007. And Amazing Spider-Man 2012.
Yeah.
So just only 5-year gap. Which for some people would be enough to forget a lot of shit. But, I mean, like it was, Raimi's Spider-Man had still remained in everyone's consciousness of because of just how well done it was up until that third flick.
Yeah.
So
I just didn't understand the whole...
Spider-Man, it was 2 years later. So Amazing Spider-Man 2 is 2014.
I didn't understand the whole sickness thing. Like they were like in Spider-Man 2, they were talking about, you know, when like the whole Harry and Norman scene, and he's explaining like the sickness that he has. Like I didn't really understand that, but he did. It was interesting that like during that whole scene, he did kind of have the appearance of like very golem-like goblin-esque, I guess.
Yeah.
But I didn't really understand because that's what I really liked about Sam Raimi's is like, and William Dafoe, man. Like I'm a huge fan. Like just all of his work, like Boondock Saints. Like it's almost like he's like split personality type thing. And I don't know.
He played that off perfectly.
And I don't know if that's the whole like Green Goblin. If that's like if that's like a perfect embodiment of the character.
That's always been kind of the things they've played with even in the comics. Is there really a duality between
the
Green Goblin persona and Norman Osborn? And the more recently they have separated the two. When I have looked in on it, it's like, oh, okay, so he's not just a psychopath. It is, the Goblin serum and his kind of experimentations on himself that he's gone through. So yeah, it's a completely separate thing.
I just wonder why they took the sickness route versus just explaining like, no, I was messing in a lab and this is the serum I'm taking and all that kind of stuff.
It's been so long since I've seen Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2. So
yeah.
Oh God, I forgot about this. I'm like,
well, yeah, and then
I just found this really quick. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, like that's just it looks like, No, I can't even. Yeah. It's like they try to rip on. It's like they try to rip off of Sam Raimi's Green Goblin because that was, like I said, not a Marvel fan, but like William Dafoe and that, like how he looked, and everybody's like, "Well, that's so cheesy." Well, okay, it was like back in the '90s, wasn't it? Like something like that. Like one, they're not going to have the best technology, but two, like that suit was actually pretty cool. And if you don't think it was, then like I guess you can just go somewhere. But I thought it was cool. It was a lot better than this one.
Yeah, the first Spider-Man, Sam Raimi was 2002.
Okay, well, I was close.
We were just shy out of them.
Yeah, but that's just terrible.
This was the thing. They've played on a few different things for Goblin, and again, Amazing Spider-Man was kind of hearkening to Ultimate Spider-Man, where the Green Goblin was a transformation almost. Which is what they've done in the comics, is that he transforms into this big hulking beast of but I've always been more of a fan of the costume and mask look, and they were going to do that with Raimi's Spider-Man. For the Green Goblin, they had an animatronic face for it, and it looked really cool.
And they didn't use it, or they did use it?
They didn't use it, and they went with that whole armored kind of armor look that they gave him.
Yeah.
So hang But I could have sworn I saw this and it looked a lot closer. A lot closer to the comics, but I guess I was wrong and remember the way I remembered it. So hang on. I'm not gonna play the audio because we don't need it. I just want to show the face. So yeah, this is what they were possibly gonna do for Green Goblin for that original Spider-Man movie.
Actually,
which it's getting more closer to the comic look. It's just
instead of a mask,
the big orange eyes. I think they still would have had to fill that in or something. But yeah, I mean, I think it would have been pretty cool to see it like this instead of the armored helmet thing.
That looks
the armored helmet is still cool, but
oh yeah,
I definitely would have liked this a lot more personally. That's because I was also a kid watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it's almost in that same vein of having the animatronic head and stuff.
Did you play apparently there was a new game that came out for Ninja Turtles.
Yes,
it was remastered.
I haven't picked it up yet. It looks like the old arcade cabinet Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Time and stuff like that. It looks like that old beat 'em up. I still need to grab it. And
I've heard good things.
Yeah, I watched Razor Fist play it, and he was clearly having a ball with it. So I'm like, okay, so it's legit. And they are going to be putting out like a whole big collection of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games.
Really?
Yes, and it's going to even include the tournament fighter games with multiplayer online support. Which is crazy.
Down with this.
Right. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, so the new game was the Shredder's Revenge. Here it is. Okay. So there's Shredder's Revenge, and then there's going to be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga Collection.
Yeah.
I can dig that.
That's going to be... We need to figure out... I don't know if we can stream that. Probably not. But
absolutely. But yeah, they're going to... Yeah, so they... Like you see the old... this is probably like the NES version. Here's getting into some of the Turtles in Time games. This is the Tournament Fighter. Which I remember playing.
That's
those
legit.
games. Those games were fun.
Wasn't this like on the old NES?
All Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, the arcade systems back in the day. So yeah, here's the big list. So it comes with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade, Turtles in Time, the Nintendo Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, TMNT 2, the arcade game, the Manhattan Project, Tournament Fighters, Turtles in Time, the Super Nintendo. Wow, so they're gonna have the arcade and Super Nintendo version. Tournament Fighters, Hyperstone Heist from the Sega Genesis, both versions of Tournament Fighters, Game Boy, Fall of the Foot Clan, Back to the Sewers, and Radical Rescue. And then the online titles are... Okay, so we would be able to... if we wanted to, yeah, we could do the arcade, TMNT, Turtles in Time, Hyperstone Heist, and the Tournament Fighters. So we want to kick each other's ass.
I'm down.
Yeah. So, August 30th. That comes out.
This is going to blow Smash Bros. Out of the water.
I'm wondering if the Tournament Fighter will make it into... oh, God, what is it called? The big fighting tournament that they have. Evo? No. What is the... son of a gun. Yeah, let me look it up. I want to say it's Evo. Okay, yeah, it's the fighting game community, or the Evolution Championship Series. So yeah, I'm wondering if it'll make it into that for the Tournament Fighter. They're always sometimes stingy on what they allow in for this sort of stuff.
Yeah. Is it just downloadable on like? Can you buy it off like Microsoft Store? Like, how do you?
You could probably get it on the Microsoft Store. I'm gonna get it on the Steam platform. That's just what I mainly use, anyways. I'll get it on there. I'm sure it'll be like cross-play compatibility.
I just need to start doing Steam then.
Yeah.
It's insane how many people come in trying to how many people buy those. Yeah. Get those cards. They're like, do you have Steam cards? I'm like, no.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know what Steam. Is that like lit or sick or cap? I don't know. Like this generation, like, yeah, no cap. Like, yeah, you're not wearing a cap, guy. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no cap. Yeah, you're not wearing a hat.
What you're talking about?
Speak English. Last night I heard lit and sick about 45 times in the course of probably 3.5 minutes.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I didn't even tell you. Well, I did text. I texted you last night. No lie, I literally thought I saw Ryan Cannell at the store.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I'm not even lying. I'm like, I don't know if he's on a trip, if he's traveling currently, but like, I literally.
Last I knew he was. I thought I heard that they were talking about him being up in like Chicago or something.
With drunk C-3PO or drunk 3PO or whatever.
Or they were.
I don't know.
No. I think it was him. Him, Jeremy, and 3PO were supposed to be going to.
Okay.
They're driving to Texas.
Here's the thing.
They wouldn't be coming through Idaho, our neck of the woods.
Literally, I was almost like Ryan, but I didn't because I didn't want to be embarrassed. But I literally thought I saw him. just buying a bunch of booze.
What is what surprised me with?
Like, I thought you were cutting that out for this month, man.
Oh, well,
he's got a doppelganger then.
Yeah, it's probably a doppelganger with people with enough of the same haircut running around, so it wouldn't surprise.
I mean, I'm telling you, like, I wouldn't send you a text at like 12 in the morning or whenever I sent you the text.
I was
asleep
like anyway, so I was fine.
Maybe he did pass. I don't know. Maybe he did pass through, but if not, he's got a doppelganger. So, it was very, very convincing. Craziest thing ever.
I know. I saw. I meant to follow that up and ask you and go, what are you talking about?
I almost slid into his DMs. I was like, did you hear? Like, are you here right now? Like, you want to get on the show for tomorrow before you go to Chicago?
But no, they're supposed to be heading to Texas for Anime Matsuri.
Is that just all they just travel just 365 days out of the year for like Comic Cons? Is that all they do?
Certainly recently, because they've been setting up so many like meetups and stuff. So,
well, it's like cool. Drunk 3P or whatever. I don't know his name. Is he like Party Geeks and Gamers, or is he just did his own thing?
He does his own thing. Plus, he does the park hopping channel for them. So he's usually the one going to the theme parks and stuff.
Like, what is he like? Is he a Star Wars guy? Because I follow him, but I haven't
That's where he's how I heard about some of the news for the stupid galactic cruiser.
Oh, it was him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've tried to keep an eye on some of that stuff, but he definitely got a few extra information and stuff, tidbits here and there that he compiled it together neatly.
I wonder how he did that without. I wonder if he was on the blacklist too, like what's his name, Star Wars Theory or whitelist, whatever list they call it.
What I've heard from on some of their streams, they are basically on the persona non grata list, not just for the simple fact that they're geeks and gamers, but also because of how they cover the theme parks. So some theme parks don't like them because they just give their own honest opinion on what they see and what.
They're like, how dare you?
I mean, they aren't doing the typical chill kissing ass to.
They're like, we don't allow subjective comments here.
Yeah,
it has to be objective.
Certainly, like Disneyland, Disney World, whatever, they don't like them. Universal likes them very much.
I'm surprised they were even
Universal
able to...
is apparently doing better than Disney World and stuff.
Well, that's the whole thing. If you're gonna go to Florida, you're gonna go to like, was it Magical Kingdom and Universal? You're not gonna go to Disney. Well, I heard something that they're trying to, Disney's trying to do the vaccine passport or something. They're trying to make it. Well, what's really scary is like they have like a bracelet that you wear and it scans. It's got like all your credit card and hotel, all that information.
They're wanting to.
Oh no, it wasn't a bracelet. I'm sorry, it was your fingerprint. That's
chip.
what it was. Yeah. I was like, no, thank you.
They want to chip you.
I'm like, no, I'm not a dog. Bye.
Well, no, it's kind of funny. It's kind of like the E3 when the Xbox One and PS4 were announced. You had Microsoft that was talking about how you needed the Kinect, you needed the sensor to be active, you needed it to help log in daily for your system. You couldn't share games. Basically, it was all DRM locked to your console.
Yeah,
and then Sony comes out and is like, "We're doing none of that." And everybody's like, "Okay, well, we know where we're going." And that's how I certainly make my decision. And Universal so far, Universal's been basically like watching them and being like, "We're not doing that," and so that's been basically it. And apparently they just have better rides and stuff there. And like their whole Harry Potter experience is like really good in comparison to Galaxy's Edge, which is poorly done.
I hear, and freaking DeSantis isn't like, not to get political, but I hear, like he's not taking any type of crap down there from what it sounds like.
He's full bore, man. And I can appreciate that to some degree.
He's like,
to all degrees. I just wish it was 100% legit.
But. Oh yeah, so. But I'm surprised how they can get into these Disney theme parks. I would have thought they're like, no, we can. It's not like they can't like sell you a ticket, but I felt like they would be like more like.
Oh, they're not going to deny your money, but they're certainly not going to give you like special privileges or access and stuff like that.
I don't know. I would
towing a certain line that they want you to tow for reviews and stuff like that. If that's what you're referring to.
They'd probably watch them like a hawk in the while they're getting the rides.
And online and stuff like that. Absolutely. Keep a close eye.
Yeah, I thought that was funny though. I'm gonna send him a messe. He's gonna be, who's this J Hitman guy? Why does he have a respirator on his face?
Why is he asking me if I've been to a store like that?
Yeah, it was funny, but I did my comic thing. Is there anything you had?
I mean, there's some little news here or there, and in fact, in regards to Star Wars: The Old Republic, as far as I know, not a lot's gonna be made of this, but
I was just looking at that on Discord.
Yeah, Star Wars: The Old Republic's creative director leaves BioWare after 16 years. Has it been that long?
Oh wow, since the original.
Yeah, so the creative director of Star Wars: The Old Republic, Charles Boyd, will be leaving the game after being an integral member of BioWare's development team for 16 years. In a July Game Update blog post, the statement opened explaining Game Update 7.1's content. Launching August 2nd, this upcoming content will include new daily mission arcs on Planet Manon, new operations for 8-player teams, improvement to weapons under the Outfitter system, key revelations about Darth Malgus and the Sith Lord whose relics he has been pursuing, and more. Because this is the thing, they released this whole update. I swear to Christ, it was such a lackluster quote expansion pack that they have released to date. Even like the Knights of the Fallen content, they had like a full, I don't know how many chapters, like 90 chapters that you could play through and get a good chunk of time. While this was just kind of wham bam, thank you, ma'am. It was really quickly over with. However, the statement also revealed creative director Charles Boyd would be leaving the 11-year-old title. Star Wars: The Old Republic is known for its years of storytelling and capturing players' hearts for over a decade now. All chapters must close in order for others to begin. We wanted to. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just wondering why he's leaving after 16 years.
I don't know. Again, fly on the wall, right? Fly on the wall. What like, could be heard? Well,
seeing what Disney's doing, like, we're out by.
Well, and this is where I was talking to Davioso about this earlier today. This game, I have such a love-hate relationship with, and B, it's full of potential. It's really all there, but they don't seem to want to fully commit to certain storylines and stuff like that. They've completely toned everything way down. The class stories are basically all but gone, except for some few mentions here and there, and but later on, yeah, they kind of get re-acknowledged with what's been currently some of the current goings-ons, but otherwise, the whole class quest thing of like the Sith Inquisitor, warrior, the bounty hunter, agent, trooper, smuggler, Jedi Knight, Jedi Consular, all that sort of stuff, all those are kind of done away with. So you're just kind of, your character, has some flavor conversations here or there, but otherwise, you don't have your own quest line. It's all homogenized into one big overarching story, and it's just lost that uniqueness that you originally had of having each individual story. And I can understand it takes time to have to write through these stories and set them up and stuff like that, but then I would just say focus. Just focus on one character, do a big expansion pass or a pack, go on to the next, and then the next, and then the next, and loop back around, and then maybe have some big events for all the characters that can come into it, sort of thing. So it's just been, ugh.
I mean, I agree.
It's all there, and they took because I remember when they were first. I was following this game. A lot of us were really hyped up. We were like, yes, this is some potential for some awesomeness. We loved Knights of the Old Republic. BioWare should be able to do a great job with it. And they were first showing off some of the early trailers and everything. How certain classes may have a bit of a different effect on some of the flashpoints that when you team up with other players, especially also if they have like different crew skills, which is like the crafting system. If they have like certain crew skills, it might help you get through some of the maps either in different ways or maybe just not, you're kind of blocked from that pathway, so you had to go in a completely different direction. They were showing all this different stuff off, which was sounding so cool, but then by the time we got to the end product, it was missing all that. Still fun, still enjoyable, don't get me wrong. I know my brother and we always love going through the level 1 through 50 content, but it still misses out on what they were originally promising was going to be part of the game. And especially when it come, it was funny too, because like there used to be a when you were creating your character, especially, it was kind of like Dragon Age, the original Dragon Age Origins, where you picked your background story and stuff like that, and that added to your character. Now you just basically go up to the beginning guy and you kind of add in what you are via a conversation really quick. It's just like, I mean, I guess that's not a bad way to go about it, but at the same time, you don't have. I wish I still had some of the video and screenshots that I took from then, and had all the descriptions, because they would talk about if you're like the kind of mixed Sith blood human or whatever for the Sith warrior, and then for the Sith Inquisitor, the different slave backgrounds and stuff like that. So they had a lot. God, now I'm making myself sad.
I mean, is this still good? So, like, I've not played SWTOR. Like, my brother's been trying to get me to play it for, like...
You're walking into it certainly after a lot of changes and stuff like
that.
For
the better or for the worse?
some for the better, absolutely. Especially the ability to have after it took them a while to give you your alternative clothing look, so you can have like the one that's all your gear and everything like that helps give you your stats. And then you can set up your outfitter for the look that you want to have.
Yeah.
So, it's little things like that. The funny thing is, though, they talked about this early on about being able to put your hood up or down if you had like that kind of cloaked look. They still haven't done that. But there's little quality of life things that they've kind of just thrown in. It's done some good for it for sure. I just wish that they had more like character interactions when you're doing like flashpoints and stuff like that, especially maybe to have the characters by default, like maybe say something here or there if they get the dialogue win. Maybe your character could have just a little kind of just like a look or something like that, just acknowledging that you're with a group of people.
And they're not doing that.
Not entirely, no. It's just kind of called, okay, the person's talking, the person that won the dialogue choice, they get their character gets to talk. And so they aren't always acknowledging of, oh, we got a group of say like, oh, group of Sith, or wow, sometimes they will say, oh, you're kind of an interesting bunch. Just kind of saying if you have like a weird collection of people.
How does this compare to like KOTOR then?
I mean, it's a very different thing considering you basically have so many different storylines. Initially,
multiple storylines within this.
Inquisitor has their storyline. The whole level 1 through 50, they have their whole storyline. Sith Warrior and so on. Although that's why for us, we're going to be doing this. We're all going to be playing something different, so so you can see all the different storylines. You just might miss out on some of the beginning scenes here or there, but otherwise, you get to pal around and see. Okay, you'll get to see some of the storylines going on.
So I guess I need to establish this first. Should I go ahead and like create my character before we start streaming tomorrow, or do I need to just do it? We'll just do that tomorrow.
We can just do that tomorrow if you want. You can do it tonight if you just want to get your character started. Just like as soon as like it starts up with the
give me a Palpatine skin.
Just as soon as it starts off with the whole, doing the title crawl, just exit out and just have your character created at least, and then we'll get you guys into our guild and everything and get you all set up.
So excited! I gotta make sure it's downloaded. Like I said, OBS is 100% downloaded, ready to go.
Cool. Let's finish this up. We wanted to take time to wish a fond and wholehearted farewell to Charles Boyd, our creative director, and talk about those who are taking the reins for the game after his departure. Charles has been with the company for 16 years and played a significant role in the game's success, wrote Star Wars: The Old Republic project director Keith Koenig. He went on, Star Wars: The Old Republic truly is something special, and hitting our 10-year landmark together was remarkable. I would like to thank him for playing his part in making that happen. We will miss Charles as a friend and as a colleague and wish him all the best in his next adventure. BioWare General Manager Gary McKay added, "It's always sad to see someone you appreciate go, but I wish Charles all the best in the next adventure. He leaves SWTOR in excellent hands and hands with an incredible team that will carry forward our vision for the game. We are committed to SWTOR's future as we continue to work on the next Dragon Age and Mass Effect." So this is why their content has been really slow for this game, because they're splitting the teams up into working on these different projects. The statement then took the time to praise other members of the SWTOR design leadership team, including lead producer Eric Musco, narrative director Ashley Rule, lead writer Caitlin Sullivan Kelly, UX director. I don't know what the heck UX is.
Never heard of it.
Alan Copeland, and gameplay design director George Smith. The world of game development is always evolving, and we're excited to chart out the journey for Star Wars: The Old Republic going forward, and share more about those plans with you soon. The statement reassured. The statement was concluded by words from Boyd himself, who wrote a heartfelt farewell message declaring, "Even after almost 16 years, I still can't fully believe how lucky I've been to work on Star Wars: The Old Republic. The Star Wars galaxy has always been a huge part of my life since I was a kid," he explained. So getting to play a role in SWTOR's growth from its initial vision to a colossal release and then an incredible live service for over a decade has been an amazing experience. Boyd gushed, "The team's passion, creativity, and dedication to this game are incredible. I don't think I could ever fully express how much I've admired and appreciated working with them every single day. As always, there are some exciting things in the works for the future of SWTOR, storylines and planets and gameplay and characters that I can't wait to see come to life. I'm really looking forward to experiencing them all right alongside our players," he went on to declare. So the team, to our longtime partners at Lucasfilm, and to all of you, thank you so much for this amazing journey. I may be moving on from the project, but the Old Republic will never leave my heart, Boyd concluded. Yeah, I mean, Boyd is the latest in many major staff leaving BioWare. Though many of those were centered around Dragon Age, senior creative director Matt Goldman left in November of last year, making him the fourth such person to leave. Boyd made it clear he left BioWare on Twitter, but he's not quite out the door yet. "Big news, I am leaving BioWare on August 5th, Boyd noted. We'll be chatting more about in the coming weeks, of course, but until then, here's an update for you awesome folks on the team who will be leading SWTOR in the future." So, yeah. I can only hope that they'll...
So
that's the problem with them having, like, I'm guessing still a small team, is that they're splitting these groups up, working on things like Mass Effect, Dragon Age, and they need the dedicated team when they're trying to put out updates and stuff like that. It's like, Christ, I can't count how often I'm seeing Elder Scrolls Online getting updates for that MMO. It's been crazy as often as I see the expansion packs and stuff come out. This feels so slow in comparison with SWTOR. And I would love it if they did more with the game and all, but and then some of it's just been such a grind.
Do you think with him leaving, it will be better or worse? It's hard. Obviously, it's hard to say because you just don't know. But like,
yeah,
do you think? Are you hopeful? Are you hopeful, or do you think it's just going to crash and burn? And is it going to crash and burn because? Do you think he left because of everything that's going on with Lucas? Well, BioWare has nothing to do. Well, I don't like Lucas doesn't own BioWare. Last time I checked, right?
Lucasfilm does not own BioWare. EA, Electronic Arts owns.
Yeah.
BioWare.
Now, I guess we have to figure out if EA is in bed with Disney. Anyways, like, did he leave because he foresee? Yeah, I know, right? Because I know Rogue Squadron, bad.
Yeah, Battlefield 2, bad.
But do you think that he left because he sees where like just Star Wars is going, and he's like, I'm out, deuce, bye. I can't. There's nothing we can do. Or 16 years is also a long time.
Yeah. And 11 of that has been on the SWTOR project, apparently. So, the thing is that Star Wars: The Old Republic has been remaining somewhat untouched by Disney canon, except for they had added in like the goofy crossguard lightsabers and stuff like that. But for the most part, they're still technically drawing from EU continuity, because they have characters like Revan. They've made references to other old Sith Lords and Jedis and stuff like that. So it's definitely been still in that continuity a bit, but if this guy was keeping certain things on a path, and even that was kind of wishy-washy at times, because my brother and I have gone on about this offline, and it's like it feels like they would start down some paths and then get sidetracked and change up things to go down a completely different path. So, I mean, I can only hope that maybe we get somebody that has a little more of a concise vision for what they want to do with the overarching story. Otherwise, I can only potentially see more damage being done to this game than good.
That sucks, man. Because
potentially, you know,
yeah. I don't know
hope
who
for the best, but I expect the worst.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know who you would. I don't know who could fix it, who could take it. I don't know. I mean, at this point in time, it's so like I'm so hopeless with Star Wars, and I don't want to be, but I don't think there's anything. And that's what's so frustrating, because you know, BioWare is separate from Lucas Disney and owned by EA, but we know the close relationship that EA and obviously Disney Lucas have had, and it seems like Disney is yeast. Right? It infects everything, right? So once it gets little spores in you, then it just spreads, right? And I think that is what we're ultimately seeing,
right?
Or what we are ultimately going to see. This guy's probably, you know, he could be like, yeah, you know, 16 years is a long time. 11 years of it was spent on this project. I'm tapped out. I'm ready to go. You know, whatever. Or he's like, I can see where this is going. My hands are ultimately going to be tied. If I don't bend the knee, my knees are going to get, you know, knocked out from under me. So I'm just going to leave with my head held.
Yeah, he could just be trying to be one of the, as they say, the rats fleeing the sinking ship, you know?
Well, I mean,
especially with all this weird corporate culture going on out there, it wouldn't surprise me that it's called, man, I am tapped.
We'll see how it goes tomorrow. If I don't make it through day one, then I'm out.
Then we'll know.
Then we're gonna. So if I don't like it tomorrow, then we'll immediately just go to Ninja Turtles.
We'll figure something out. Yeah, maybe Ninja Turtles. I'll have to grab it.
But I really like Star Wars, man. I really want to have high hopes for this, just for the simple fact that I hear Malgus is in it. Malgus is like top 5, in my opinion. Definitely top 5, maybe top 6. I don't know how much he's in the game, or how much of you see it in the story, but
if we certainly like do certain things, yeah, you'll see him a little bit more, but like he doesn't take a big part in like the personal storylines necessarily. It's just more of like some of the side flashpoints that you can do, like around level 30. That's like after chapter 1.
Yeah.
And then he has a whole big thing for the blow off of on a planet called Ilum. So, which we'll do if we get that far.
So is it 5 then 5:30 tomorrow? Is that what we're 5 or 5? What do we say?
5 p.m. General Mountain Time. We'll be booting up that Star Wars: The Old Republic.
It may be 5:30 because if my computer has acted, if my computer acts like it has been acting, then we should just bank on 5:30. But I'll be on at 5.
Okay, 5 or 5:30. Okay, yeah. 5 or 5:30, folks. We'll
I'll
be doing the SWTOR stream on our Twitch channels. The Fractured Filter and J Hitman, and also just, keep an eye on our Twitter pages. We'll make.
I will post. There. Yeah, I'll post when everything's good to go. OBS is officially downloaded. And
Cool.
I'm checking SWTOR. I'll check SWTOR after we get off. But
Yeah, and when you get the chance to look into Steam, grab that.
I'll probably grab a card tonight. I don't.
You don't have to grab a card. Just get the download the program.
Just the program. Okay, I'll do that too.
Yeah,
So,
I can get you the link for that.
shoot me the link. So.
Yeah, I'll shoot you the link.
All right. Well, is there anything else you wanna?
No, I mean you gotta bounce early.
Gotta bounce early, or I would. There's a lot more I want to talk about, but
good time as any, and we could always save some stuff for next week. Now
yes,
the question becomes: do we want to torture ourselves with anything, or do we want to keep this nice loosey goosey talk about anything? Sort of?
Dude, it's been
I'm
nice.
wondering if we just watch should we just check out one episode of Visions?
I
could have said Bad Batch.
You could have said Rebels too.
I could have said Rebels. Yeah.
Visions, I can't do it. I can't do the samurai looking stuff.
I mean, unless you've been watching Better Call Saul, we could talk about Better Call Saul next week.
Oh God.
I've been watching.
What do you want to do? You want it's between Bad Batch, Rebels, or Visions? I'm gonna hate you, Visions.
I would.
You're gonna say Visions, aren't you?
I am gonna say Visions just because it's so detached from the current continuity, and then they might. I mean, I don't know. Like I'm just saying one episode. I'm not saying the whole thing. I'm just saying we could just check out one episode, see how we feel, which I'm sure is gonna be hate.
Fine. I will review the Sith code prior to watching this.
That might make you more angry, but
I have a vision for Visions, and it's not good. That's fine. Let's do it. It's fine. We'll do it. Okay. But I'm gonna be there when we do Bad Batch 2. I'm gonna throw that in your face.
Well, I'm gonna have to probably watch that on my own, aren't I? Let's get through season 1 so we can start season 2 when that comes out.
Are we doing season 1 again?
I haven't watched it.
I know you haven't, but does that make sense to do season 1 and then do season 2? Do we even have enough time? When is it? August? We don't.
We would have already had to have been starting to watch it now.
Unless we... When is it? August what?
You've already watched it, though, haven't you?
I know. Oh, I have, but I'm totally down to deconstruct it again.
Well, then I guess...
How many episodes do we have to watch to get... Because there's 8 episodes. I think there's 8 episodes, right? Yeah? 8? No. 12? 8 or 12.
Bad Batch?
And they're not long. I think they're like the Clone Wars episode. I think they're about 18, 20 minutes, I think. So we could do that. We could just watch a couple episodes, and we could do like next week. We could just, I don't know, just a thought. We could watch however many we watch, leading up to when Bad Batch 2 comes out. We could do that, like how we did Mandalorian. We doubled up on. Well, we did that with Obi-Wan. We doubled up.
16 episodes.
Oh dear. I mean, it's plausible. It's not outside the realm of.
Would we want to like double up on the episodes? Like
they're only like I think they're only like 20 minutes, so it's not bad. It's like two would equal the length of one episode of Mandalorian. I think they're not. There's no way they're 45-minute long episodes.
No, I don't think they're that long.
I want to say they're about 20.
No, well the pilot episode is apparently an hour and 10 minutes.
Well, that's because it goes through.
And then they're 31 minutes.
So, I mean, it's just an idea. It's a thought. We don't have to. I'm just saying, but we could if we doubled up, because it's August 26th. Is that when it releases?
Maybe after the first episode, we can.
You want to do that then?
We can double up on the episodes.
You think about it.
September 28th. So we've got 2 months. We could probably get through these episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Bad Batch season 1 we'll start.
Listen, this is not me trying to get out of Andor. You know that, and you love my my hate for Andor. We'll still be doing Andor.
We'll double up.
Darn it! Oh, I hate you. I'd rather watch Bad Batch than Andor. Fine. We'll do it. So, all right, next week then Bad Batch.
We'll be starting Bad Batch, yeah.
I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but
well,
fine.
all right. So we got that figured out. We'll be doing Bad Batch next week. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. or 5:30 p.m. We'll be doing.
Depending on J Hitman's computer, if it wants to just be a shyster.
Absolutely. We'll be doing Star Wars: The Old Republic, starting that playthrough. Come on and join us if you're going to be around. On either of our Twitch.
That's our new app we came out with.
Yeah, on either of our Twitch channels, mine the Fractured Filter, or JH1 Hitman 187 Twitch. Find us, watch us.
Be fun. So excited.
And so with that, I say good night, everybody.
Night.